What we want to do next is work with the file called Hit the Road Mobile Services. It'll give us a good understanding of basic Excel. I'm going to go down and open that link, Hit the Road Mobile Services. File will open. Initially, we can see the sheet called Hit the Road Complete. This is the finished product. I want to click on the sheet called Hit the Road 2. And I'm going to rename that sheet to my last name. Next, we see the various pound signs. What the pound signs signify is that there's not enough room in the columns. It's very common. How we get rid of them is by clicking on the Global button. And the Global button is right above row 1 and to the left of column A. By left clicking on that Global button, everything is now highlighted on the sheet. We can then go up in between the columns, any of the columns, up on top here. We end up getting a cross, and once we see that cross, we can quickly double left click, which widens the columns. Next thing we want to do is to take our title called Hit the Road Mobile Services, and we want to center that across the page. The easiest way of doing that is by first highlighting the title across the width of the page. It's highlighted up to this point here, and then we click on the button called Merge and Center. Next, we want to take yearly sales, highlight that title or subtitle across the width of the page, and click on Merge and Center. We're going to go next to cell A3, and we're going to insert the Now function. How we do that is by clicking on the F of X, Insert Function. Click on that. We will type in Now. Click on Go. When Now is highlighted, we can then click OK, and then OK again. Let's merge and center that by highlighting it across the width of the page, and then clicking on the Merge and Center button. Next, what we want to do is sum the total revenue for the years 2005 through 2008. So we're going to go down to cell B12, click on Auto Sum. Excel will take a guess at that range. And Excel's guess is that we want to add, starting in B5, all the way to B11. Looking at it, seems to be okay. Hit Enter. We can now use the autofill handle to copy that formula across to this point. Next, we go to cell B13, and we're going to average this range right here. This is the range that we want to average. Go up to Auto Sum, click the down arrow, and then click on Average. Excel will now take a guess what you want to average. And it actually included the total, which you do not want to include. So there's two ways of doing that. You can go up here and edit the formula here. However, it's a lot easier to hold down your mouse, left mouse, and retrace what that area is, which is from B5 to B11. Hit Enter. Go to our autofill, and drag it across. Next, we're going to find the low or the minimum number in this range right over here. We start by going up to that auto sum, hitting the down arrow, highlighting min, checking the range, which is too long. So we want to retrace the proper range, which is from here to here. Hit enter. Drag it across. Lastly, the high, which is maximum. Retrace the range. This is too long. It's only from B5 to B11. Hit enter. Drag it across. Next, for our totals, we want to sum the years 2005, 6, 7, and 8. So we're going to go into totals, auto sum, click on sum, and we see Excel is taking a guess, saying that we want to add from B5 through E5, which is the right range. Click enter. Drag that total down. And as we can see here, we have a number of pound signs, so we want to get rid of that. So what we're going to do is click on the global button. In between columns A and B, we have our cross. And we're going to quickly double left click. Now everything is now viewable. Next, what I want to do is insert a column between the totals and the average. How I do that is clicking on column G. The whole column is now highlighted. Then right click, insert. We have a new column in between totals and average. In cell G4, we're going to type in percentage of totals. Move down into cell G5, and what we want to do for each of our products is to take the totals divided by the grand total. So for instance, the standard phones would be 505,261 divided by 1658, 188. Camera phones would be 344, 342 divided by 1658, 188. We're going to come up to G5, put in our formula, which is 505,261 divided by 1658, 188, which happens to be in cell F12. Once again, we're always going to be using that 1658, 188 as our denominator. It's a constant. It's an absolute. And how we get our constant or absolute is by clicking on F4. The formula has now been changed, so it's showing F5 divided by $F, $12. That F12, because of the dollar signs, because it's absolute, it's always going to be in that denominator. Once again, equals 505,261 divided by 1658, 188, which is our constant or absolute. F4, enter. Drag it down. What we can see here is that we have dollar signs before all of our numbers, which means that we're probably using the accounting format. We want to change that to percentages. Click on the Home tab. Right now it's using the accounting number format, but we want to change it to percentages. Click here, and we have our result. Next, we're going to create a pie chart for our products. So we're going to highlight from here to here. Hold down the Control key and highlight from here to here. Click on Insert, and we're going to do a pie chart. Our pie chart comes out, and what we need is labels for that pie chart. Keeping in mind that for pie charts, you usually want to show the percentage of the pie. So in order to insert labels, you come within the pie itself on any piece, right click, add data labels. Once you have your data labels, right click on any of the labels and then format data labels. We get a dialog box, and we want to have a check mark next to the percentage. Click on Close. Let's move our chart over. Then click within the document. In order to highlight or change the format of this area here, is you would highlight it. You want to change it to the accounting format. You click right over here. We could lessen the decimal places by coming up here, by decreasing them. Next, what we want to do is prepare this for printing. Click on the Insert tab, Header and Footer, or by coming down here and clicking on Page Layout. That's what I'm going to use. Click on Page Layout. We're going to come in here and insert a page number, and we want an automatic page number. So we're going to click on this button here for page number. Come into our middle header and put in our sheet name. We do that by clicking on the sheet name button. Clicking over here, and we're going to insert our file name by clicking on the file name button. And then let's click outside of the header area. Next, click on Page Layout, Margins Narrow, Orientation Landscape. Go to Print Preview, and see what our document looks like. We would need some widening here. Thank you.